it's easy to overlook for Musgrave is the very bulk is custom pencils for XYZ. So if you got a restaurant or like a oyster place, a golf course, a cruise line you're doing branding for, and you need to have a pencil that's custom made among so many other things. I mean, I know when we have stuff made for clients, it can be so hard to source. Where am I going to get this hat made? Can I get on the phone with somebody and just get my questions answered? I don't know how this works. And so I think there's value in just literally like I mean, they're right here. You can talk to them. You can get the thing done and reasonably, priced and made on your timeline and all that stuff. So the custom piece of Musgrave's business is a huge deal. And you're not going to convince everybody. Some people are just going to purely be price shoppers, and there's a difference between price and value. And we can talk about the quality of the wood, or the glue is better, or the workers are treated this way or that. Some people are going to be convinced, some people aren't, but there's a whole bunch of people like us who just fall in love with something that has a story behind it and kind of, indicates that people actually care who are involved in making it.
Has the demands or as time has moved on over the past several decades, how has the demand for pencils changed or evolved? Scott.
Yeah, the demand for pencils doesn't seem to be changing. I think when um, the pandemic hit, particularly Mike, and people went to school from home, there was certainly a logical drop in demand, only because A, people weren't getting to school and having broader use, and B, people weren't getting out to shop, for accessories and stationery supplies, etc. That has returned in large part, and the demand remains steady, if not growing slightly, small percentages each year. And again, when you think about the number I mentioned earlier, 3.2 billion wood case products in the U.S., staggering when you consider the circumstances in which we live. Um, the
Yeah.
demand within Musgrave has shifted, right? So we, for a long time, were original manufacturers for other pencil companies. And now today, we've enjoyed fantastic growth in our own brand pencils, thanks to the wonderful messaging and awareness that the studios helped raise of our brand. And as I said before, a growing share of that in the custom world.
Mm. Yeah. On that note, is that what would you say that Musgrave's special sauce is? What makes it a great pencil company? Is it the customization aspect of it? Is it the traditions that you uphold, or a mixture of both? Like, what do you think is the thing that makes Musgrave distinct? And maybe we'll start with Tim on.
I think the custom piece is a big one. I think that there's something to the fact that the factory can be really nimble with new ideas, and I mean, we've seen them create new shapes of pencils. There's innovation to be done in pencils, believe it or not. And so I think that, it's interesting to hear Scott talk about the difference in the way that the process is broken down in the factory, because I do think that that allows for a lot of changes in the production day just based on what's happening in the world. So I think there's a nimbleness to that. And then I do think there's an honoring and an acknowledgement of the history of this place that's not lost on anybody. I mean, you walk in there and it looks like a movie set. And I think that is special. And I think that people, kind of appreciate that.
How about you, Scott?
Yeah, I would just add to that people are attracted to the history and the nostalgia of made in Tennessee, made in the United States, family-owned business. There's a personal connection, I think, for people to the brand that we like to honor. Right? I mean, it's a real privilege to connect with somebody or an organization that says, "Oh man, we're connected to some history here, and some history in the United States, and in this industry." And they like to honor that, and it's a privilege for us to respond. And then we like to call ourselves a short order cook in the pencil business. And as you know, to emphasize what Tim was saying, we are nimble. There's a whole opportunity around scented pencils. There's a whole opportunity around different art that can go around the surface of a pencil, or your lumber company on the surface of a carpenter pencil, or it's so. I do love our flexibility and responsiveness. I think that that also is part of our identity. Strong.